You can't just play two sides of the field. Scott, I don't know. This is getting out of hand. I think the crosstalk section needs to be cut before it devolves into violence. I live about an hour away. I could jump over to the desk real quick.
Oh, okay.
Probably not in a break, but yeah. All right, the Shock and the Houston Outlaws. The desk kind of painted the picture perfectly, right? The last few games have not been great. It's also weird to say that Shock right now are on a 2-match losing streak, Rose. They lost against the Washington Justice yesterday, and then they also lost against Dallas in the Summer Showdown. So right now, the longest lose streak they've ever been on is 2. And the Houston Outlaws, they also lost against the Boston Uprising to kick off the Countdown Cup qualifiers. Not the results we've really expected from both these teams.
No, and I think a lot of the pain points that we've seen from both of them can really fall into what tank they decide to centralize their compositions around. For San Francisco, it's been a lot of the Wrecking Ball as a default for Mikey when he's in the roster. And for Dante, Dante's been prevalently known for the Doomfist, but both of those tanks right now are pretty low in the power rankings. You'll see Dante, though, starting things off for Houston, so it's possible we still see more of the Doomfist, but it makes a lot more sense knowing that the first map type we're going to is Control.
Yeah, so Dante is in, so yeah, more Doomfist here, like the desk was kind of putting it. Merit and Pelican, of course, perfect DPS ready for this kind of meta, Rose. I think this was spoken about a little bit earlier, in their first game when they were against the Boston Uprising and lost, but they got a very large hero pool, a hero pool that's kind of covers this meta that's kind of forming right now. A lot of Sojourn, a lot of Tracer, Sombra, like everything that sits in their wheelhouse currently.
Yeah, I will say that, one thing about that Boston versus Houston match is that Boston have pretty much proved themselves at this point. They just got a 3-0 sweep over the Florida Mayhem, which was very surprising, I think, to a lot of people, just knowing where Florida has been in a lot of people's power rankings. So I feel like we can give Houston a little bit of a pass here. That was a tough matchup to go against, and I do feel as though Valentine and Victoria were kind of having the games of their lives. So I don't know if it's a fair comparison yet, and today I think will be a really good... we'll get a good idea of where Houston are going to stand in terms of the rest of the playing field.
Yeah, this is almost the perfect test. You go against the best team in the North American region currently in the San Francisco Shock, even though they did go down to the Washington Justice in that brutal game number 5. They are starting Mikey again, though, Rose. So we've got Fit and Violent, Sportline, Proper, and Sam DPS.
Yeah, and I think that when you take a look at just the Dante versus Mikey, it's very possible we see the Doomfist versus the Wrecking Ball. Maybe Mikey brings out the Winston. That is another one of his best heroes, and I think that could really lend itself well to the type of DPS we could expect to see from Sam and Proper. Sam does play a lot more of those projectile DPS heroes. We've seen him on the Echo for a little while, the Genji as well, but the Genji was a role that was actually picked up by someone else on the Shock. Who do you kind of put on that role, especially when you got Proper sitting next to you too. So we'll have to see kind of where they decide to divvy up responsibilities.
Violet is in his seat, don't worry.
He's here.
Don't worry, he is present. He is here. There he is.
He's here.
Right. Peekaboo. Yeah, like you were saying, Rose, I like the good point about the Wrecking Ball and Mikey and now going up against Dante on the Doomfist. A lot of teams right now sometimes opting towards this D.Va for a lot more protection on your backline for these dives, especially with Sombra on the field too. The Wrecking Ball can be a little bit harder to play, especially if you get focused down. If you have a Zen on the other team with a Sombra, you get hacked, discorded. You're out of commission for quite a while.
Yeah.
And we kind of saw what happened a little bit earlier on with the New York Excelsior game, where Kellen was on the ball, but he was getting focused so much that he was almost non-existent in some of the team fights or even some of the rounds, because with the Wrecking Ball, you do take a long time to get healed, or you can do whatever Wrecking Ball does, is just kind of go around the map and pick up a lot of health packs, right? But that wastes a whole bunch of time. I wonder if the San Francisco Shock do come out with something different. It seems very unlikely, though, considering Mikey's Wrecking Ball is very much in his wheelhouse. Unless we see a little bit of Orisa.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we've seen some interesting DPS picks from the Shock before, so it actually doesn't surprise me that we're going to see the Hanzo, the Torbjorn.
Okay, finally.
Oh my god, we got the Battle Kettle. You got this.
I've wanted to cast a Torb game for the longest time. I am a Torb connoisseur, if you will. I love me some... Oh, well, Turret's dead. Rip. I love me some Torbjorn, I will say. His left click also looks like spaghetti now, rather than like little Cheetos, so big buff for the Torbjorn. Could be quite hard to dive the Torbjorn, but Turret in a good spot too, gets a lot of free damage. Speaking of free damage, that's Dante dead. Big dynamite from Merit takes down Violet, but with this front line being non-existent for the Outlaws right now, they might be in trouble. In fact, another kill from Merit. Those dynamites hitting hard, and in fact, Merit hitting a little bit harder than them. Mikey ends up just going down to a regular shot there with the help of Lastro. Turret's not going to last long, unfortunately. A lot of spam on the other side too, so yeah, Turret's not going to be great. You have to really set up with it and make sure the other team kind of ignore it. Oh, there's a Hunter there. All good though.
Okay, well, yeah.
I think Merit's Dynamite has gotten more kills than anybody on... Oh my god. Okay, proper in his turret, everybody. He's set up. He's ready to rock and roll. Oh. The turret takes down Immortality Field and Dante dies to a spear. There we go. We're in a new territory now, a new meta. Torb supremacy.
I'm here for it, okay? Like, we're getting a chance to see Orisa finally being a staple in the meta, and I'm living for that. But then the Torbjorn too. I mean, Proper's actually picked out this hero like a few times now. Like, it kind of isn't a troll anymore. Especially when, like, I don't know, Proper can play everything under the sun, but the Torbjorn is just special.
Good stick. Better lamp from Violet there. Saving his teammate from Pelican's pulse bomb. Terror Surge went down, not sure where it was though. Mikey pushes creative on the map, gives him a little hello and a goodbye there too. All right, San Francisco Shock with a stranglehold in this point right now. Molten Core coming up for Proper. Sam's got those dragons, those choke points are going to be deadly.
It's really going to be tough. Yeah, you know, as the Outlaws, you know, where do you actually go? Those Sonic arrows from Sam actually give you so much intel on like kind of where this team could be coming from, and that sets you up perfectly for something like the Dragon Strike.
Yeah, just more of a stall than anything else there. Pelican was already through, takes a lot of damage in fact. Got to be careful, Sam's got an idea of where he is currently. Turret's dead, unlucky. There's the Molten Core. One little globule on the bridge, one on the stairs. Stopping the Houston Outlaws from really doing much here. In fact, the Transcendence is going to be popped to get on top of that high ground. Bob on the point for the Outlaws, using those barricades to stop Bob on the point, so he will be capping. But Merit ends up going down to Finn, and a late Transcends from the shot. Terror Surge coming out. That's a lot of damage. However, Violet's lamp does save himself and Mikey from taking too much damage. The problem is now Finn and Violet on the wrong side of the map. The San Francisco Shock still have Mikey alive, so even though Bob capped the point, Shock might be in a good position to get the reflip. Oh, maybe not. Pelican sends an arrow his direction and takes him down. Oh, nice spear from Dante too.
Yeah, I mean, not while Dante is still alive. Did you see the focus fire that Dante was putting onto Finn and Violet in the back? Just ignored Mikey completely and made a beeline for both of those supports. And once those were taken down, Lastro was still alive, so Dante was able to get some support from him. And it just made it easier for Houston to take and keep control of the point. Now, Pelican's the one that's going to have the Dragon Strike as San Francisco start making their way through.
Oh, that's not something you see every day. A vanilla Dragon Strike picking up 2 kills. Very, very nice from Pelican. Good angle to kind of sit on. You're expecting the Shock to be on that little walkway there just past the door. So, yeah, kind of Dragons cover that. And then some.
And this puts Outlaws into a little bit of a precarious position, but that one team fight could get them enough all charged to maybe get that Amp Matrix online, but Shock right now have all economy.
Terror Surge is available and the lamp's already gone down. Mikey probably comment that to the rest of his team. Use that Javelin spin to march on forward, but with the Discord Orb and no armor left, Mikey's a little bit more vulnerable. With Violet and Creative going down, there's going to be a lot of damage heading San Francisco Shock's way, and they still need to touch that point. 99%. Can they even trigger OT? They cannot. San Francisco Shock, from what was quite a dominant start, get taken down by the Outlaws in round number 1.
That Dragon Strike kill, or 2 kills actually, was really, really big. Up until that point, Houston didn't really have anything else to rely upon in order to keep control and also win another team fight. And when you're playing in a meta right now where those ultimates, like, they're a little bit more expendable, but still you'd like to try to find some amount of value. I mean, here's the Dragon Strike again. Look at that, just the little lunge to the side. Oh my goodness. Shock, like, just they didn't have anywhere to go. They backed up into the wall. So yeah, that can be really rough.
It's kind of frustrating too for Sam. He was like mid-leap, like mid-dash, and it was like, oh well, I'm dead. There's not much I can do about that, to be honest. All right, Outlaws with a different look here with D.Va. Mikey back on the ball, no real surprise there, but Pelican is on that Echo. He's going to be quite hard to take down unless he's playing ground Echo, like he is currently, because he gets hacked and killed off by Sam. All right, okay. That's how you take down the Echo without a permanent hit scan. Dante makes a very aggressive push, sacrifices his mech, but gets 2 kills for it. Wow. Shock, we're not expecting that at all.
That's something that I've been noticing about Dante, is that usually Dante plays a little bit more just like, maybe a little safer, I would say, with the Doomfist, but today seems to be way more aggressive and way more confident in his tank play, where, you know, walking past Mikey's Orisa, going in and like sacrificing the mech. This is engagement, opening potential, and Outlaws are absolutely capitalizing on it.
Yeah, Outlaws in control of the point as soon as that unlocked. With that, Houston playing Pelican on the Sombra. Spoke about it a second ago, but Mikey's going to have the roughest time in history. It's going to be like sandpaper running into that, because you get discorded and then hacked, like I mentioned. There's so much damage thrown at you. You can get healed, yeah, but you've only got a Brig and a Zen, and it's not like a crazy amount of burst healing.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest burst healing you got right now is that hacked health pack. Let's be real, let's be real.
It's true, though, and you can see that Shock are just kind of sitting on it, making sure that they are able to heal themselves back up, but at what cost? Outlaws already have 50% capture progress, and they've got ults to spare here. Merit already has the Pulse Bomb online and looking for a key target.
Dude is permanently hacked. Look, he's going to go in. And he does hit the power driver, already half HP, put to sleep, gets stuck, and he's dead! Rolls into Sam for a sweet, sweet double kill. Thank you very much, says Merritt. Alrighty, and now just the clean up for the San Francisco Shock. I mean, the Houston Outlaws. Wow, I'm so used to saying that. It's probably should say the other way around. Shock are not looking great on this round at all. 25% for the Outlaws now, as they might claim round 2 with ease.
Yeah, I mean, when you see that Pelican has the EMP online, Lastro's going to have that Transcendence to be able to deal with the same 2 ults on Shock side. I do like the wraparound the Shock is taking, but they walk into Pelican.
Nice EMP there from Pelican. Unfortunately, it didn't get followed up by Merritt quick enough. Another EMP coming out. This one a little bit better. Does hit Lastro, but gets instantly nanoed by Creative. Playing on 2 opposite sides with the supports from the Outlaws, so only one of them can get EMP'd at once. Very easy reactionary ult there from Creative. No one's gone down just yet for the Outlaws. Shock need to find somebody, but they've already lost Violet. A Transcendence from Lastro to heal the rest of his team back up. Creative dodges out of the way of that Pulse Bomb, but Proper finishes him up. Another big Pulse Bomb from Merritt, though. These Tracers going head-to-head, trying to carry their teams on their backs, but it is Merritt currently that's winning it out for the Outlaws. Those mines are going to prove quite easy for the Outlaws to kind of dodge around there, and the Shock don't manage to touch, and just like that, the Outlaws sweep Shock under the rug with ease.
That was a really nice look from Dante, too, and I think something that will surprise a lot of people, where it wasn't the Doomfist that brought Houston Outlaws the success. It was the Orisa, it was the D.Va, and I think it's really fun to see how hard Houston has been working on their versatility, and it paid off here today for at least this first map.
Well, what a Shock change. Mikey is taking his headset off, so maybe we do see a small substitution. Could be a bio break as well. We'll have to wait and see after this break. This is a very, very odd look from the Shock. Not looking great so far against the Outlaws. A 2-0 on control. They are the Shock, though, and they do lose on control. So, yeah, can't count them out just yet. See you in a bit. Map number 2. Welcome back. All right, substitution for the San Francisco Shock as we head into King's Row. Our second map, a hybrid map, and we have Kaluj in. Mikey is stepping away. Yeah, the ball didn't look that great on that last round. Like downtown rows, didn't really do much. I mean, you're kind of sitting there waiting to get health back from the Brig and the Zen, and you're getting permanently hacked and discorded, slept, and then you got pulse bombed when you made your first or second push into the Houston Outlaws. The Outlaws kind of took it in their stride, which was really nice to see. They need a big bounce back, to be fair, though, Rose. They went 3-1 against the Boston Uprising. The Shock also looking for that bounce back as they took Washington Justice to a map 5 yesterday. So both teams looking for their first win in the Countdown Cup qualifiers.
Hopefully, you know, Shock can get back on the right foot. And, you know, I really don't think it's Mikey as a player. It's a really important, it's important to make that distinction, right? It's not the player, it's the hero choice. And I just think that Wrecking Ball right now isn't it for the meta. We've seen a few other teams try the Wrecking Ball and it hasn't worked out. Just like you said, the pace makes it really awkward when you have more dive-centric compositions. And even the rush that we're seeing from like Orisa-centric comps, it just makes it difficult for the Wrecking Ball to be able to play that waiting game. I think Downtown was the perfect example, just waiting around the health pack until everybody was full and then you could go engage. But by that time, it was too late. Houston were well set up and prepared, like even 20 seconds before that. I think, you know, Kaluj coming into the roster, he has a little bit more flexibility to play these off-tank heroes that are just better right now. I'm thinking Sigma in those, you know, niche situations on like Circuit Royale, or if you're playing more payload-oriented maps that have access to good sniper sight lines. But he can play the Diva too, and so that's what we're going to see Shock come out of the defensive gates with. And this is just, I think, a better look for Shock, and I want to see how it plays out for them.
I mean, Kaluj tweeted the other day that wants to just play more Sigma. Tweet a picture of his stats on the Sigma, and yeah, it's pretty damn clean. Like a lot of first places right there.
Yeah, he's one of the best Sigmas in the league, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, ideally, you go to Circuit Royal, right? But that is not in the map pool, at least for this match. It's going to be Route 66 as our escort map. But we are on hybrid right now. Outlaws going on the offense. So Dante versus Kaluj, both on the Diva. We've seen a lot of different styles of defense, defensive compositions from a lot of teams. The Shock opting for that Zen and the Ana with a little bit of long-range damage and Sam on the Hanzo.
I think they're going to see Dante play pretty aggressively like he did on Busan, where, you know, he was just walking past Mikey, just kind of going after the supports. Oh, that's going to hurt, though.
Oh, my God. Pelican didn't see what hit him. Double Storm Arrow. Easy peasy. Oh, proper ends up going down to Lastro of all people, and even Dante taking care of Violet. You saw Kalush's kind of late there on the like defensive play, trying to get up to Violet. Maybe assumed that Violet was going to be okay, or Finn was there with an orb, but Dante kind of solo kills him. He does trade for it, but look at the space that's now been created because of that kill.
Yeah, and that's really the important thing, is like when you dive after the supports in the back line, either you are distracting them long enough to not heal the other members on your team, or even better, you get a pick, and then they just aren't present for the rest of the fight. So that's already 2 ticks now given over to the Outlaws.
Yeah, Popper's back. He sees Lastro. He wants revenge, and he's got a pulse bomb to do something with. Oh, Lastro might not even... Oh, he ends up just getting the nano instead. As Pelican cleans up Violet and Sam. There was a good nano onto Kaluj there, but he couldn't get quite nearly as much done as Pelican could. Damn, okay. Outlaws end up capping the point. They're going to get the payload rolling with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds in that bank.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. And Dante's already going to take this forward positioning, just kind of locking down these choke points of, you know, maybe there was like a close respawn. Doesn't seem to look that way. How did Merritt find Sam?
Good question. I have no idea. I don't know what happened there. Looked like I got double tap maybe from Creative too, because he was in the assist feed. Don't know.
I mean,
He's dead though.
Some of these Sombras just getting sussed out by like heroes you just don't expect them to be able to. I'm still thinking about that like random backbone kill with the Hanzo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
There's
nuts.
been so many random kills. We've had the remake kill from earlier on King's Row. Like, So silly. All right, Popper has still got that pulse bomb. Looking to demech Dante so he can get it off for free, but Violet ends up going down again to Dante. Good stick from Proper. Does even the tides. However, he's used his recall, and now he has to help his Zenyatta. Finn actually forced to use the Transcendence as a remake there for Dante. Self-destruct doesn't find any kills, but it buys enough time for the rest of the Outlaws now to march on forward. Pelican is putting in numbers. Even using that copy to get a free EMP, although they didn't even need it.
That's just like the scare tactic, though. You know, like, I would be worried having an Echo as proficient as Pelican on the other side when you have such good copyable targets. A big EMP, nice EMP. Though.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate there. Creative couldn't heal Pelican in time. Although Kalush has pushed fairly far up too. Outlaws pretty spread out in their offense. Perhaps they thought they could win there. Just weren't aware of Sam's position, although he wasn't visible, of course, so it would be pretty hard to tell where he is. He had Sonic Arrow.
I think it still would have been tough anyway because Houston didn't have anything else in the bank, and so they would have had to win from outright kills. It's not impossible, but I think it is a little bit harder to do when the defense has such an advantage in terms of respawn. So you just kind of need all the firepower that you can get. Creative already is working up to another nano, though. Merit's going to have another pulse bomb. And so it's still looking pretty good here for the Outlaws to get this over the line. And they still have over 2 minutes to do so, too, to move into third.
So Outlaws have got in the back. They've got that Nano Pulse Bomb coming up versus Violet's Nano and Proper's Pulse Bomb also coming up in just a moment. Finn gets nanoed defensively. Oh, he's just kicking Dante in the face. Yeah, try and dive me now, son. All right, double kill for both supports. Finn gets slayed, but the fight's pretty much over already.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Pelican can just try to get as much charge as possible. Even if he walked away with demeching Kalush, that would be even better, but right now, Pelican, after switching over from the Echo, is just trying to work up to the EMP, and you might need it, especially if Merit's not able to get an opening pick with the Pulse Bomb, and then you have the ability with this last minute and 30 to get a second attempt with the EMP from Pelican as well. So it's just a race to see, you know, does this Pulse Bomb work out? If not, plan B is get this EMP online before Finn can get the Transcendence.
There's only 10% to go. You can imagine he'll get that in a couple of moments. Especially shooting at Kalush. There you go. He's got it online. Kalush actually just gets demech'd. Hits the remech button with that self-destruct. So he's going to be able to get back in. Finn's pretty close. 15% away. Outlaws need to go pretty fast. There it is. EMP hits. Hits Sam, Kalush, and Finn. And Kalush gets demech'd once more. But Proper's still putting in work with these pulse bombs. He's been really just shaping the Outlaws backline. Creative's just not had a good time, but it's the rest of the San Francisco Shock that needs to come back right here. 2 meters and 50 centimeters to go before they get to that second point. But with that EMP from Sam, it does clear out the Outlaws off of that point. And with the respawns coming in and Violet still existing and Proper getting nanoed, they very well could stay on this point and force Outlaws into an overtime scenario. A beautiful sleep onto Proper, but can they get the execute? They can. Merit in a big right click. You can see how many assists were on that kill.
Yeah.
Just to take down Proper. However, Kalush is back. He does end up getting hacked, and with 10 seconds to go, the San Francisco Shock have lost their main source of damage. So they're relying on Kalush and Finn to really clean up some of these kills, but now with Finn dying to another dive from Dante, it could be a little bit more tough. There it is. Houston Outlaws, even in OT, are going to get that second point.
Wow, did Shock make them work for that, though? That was an impressive amount of stall and comeback potential there from the Shock. Proper with the Nano might have been able to, like, 1v5. I absolutely would put my faith in a Proper solo carry, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Hello,
and with Pelican 2 now, with the EMP after opening up this door, I mean, this car's going around the corner, and Pelican, I don't know if Shock's going to know what hit him. They don't even have an answer to this either.
Gotta kill it. Oh, Sam just gets out for free there. Okay.
What about Pelican?
Thought it might have been a little bit more deadly since Pelican found that translocator. But yeah, Sam was in a safe enough position. All right, EMP for Pelican. Oh, nice little hack. You see Sam going for the hack there on Pelican? Scared of that EMP. If he hacked him out of that, that would have been embarrassing. All right, now they want to Dante. Dive straight to the back once again as Sam ends up going down. San Francisco Shock waning right now as Kalush also gets demech'd. Dante is antied, but look at the Outlaws' position. They've got a very, very good sight line on the finish line right now, but with Merit falling and a Transcendence being used by Finn, Shock are going to be able to survive, at least for a moment. A nice nade, a long-range one from Creative. Purple's Kalush, so he gets burned down even though the Transcendence is up. A hack onto Proper, but that 1.75 seconds doesn't last all too long, and he hits that recall. Another nano on the Tracer, but he can't go for this backline dive. He attempts it, he does get this stick, but the Outlaws are still coming up with kills. The late EMP from Sam's good enough to find the kill onto Merit, but is it good enough to finish this one off? Kalush is so low, and Pelican and Dante are just chipping away at his mech. The spawns are coming in from the San Francisco Shock, but still Creative is alive in the background. He's only 20% away from that nano. Can he keep his team alive long enough to get it? It doesn't look like it. Proper comes out on the Cassidy of all picks, and they do manage to stop the Shock just an inch before that third point, but an impressive push from the Outlaws.
So it was an impressive push from the Outlaws, but I think an even more impressive defense there for the Shock. There were a lot of moments where I felt like Houston could tip the scales. You know, Dante staying alive for a really long time, Creative, Lastro just building up to some of these key supportive ultimates, but Shock kind of continuing to you know, put some gumption behind their actions, and yeah, that was a really tough defense, and this has been a fairly good and even map so far, I think, for both teams.
Yeah, you definitely want to restore a little bit of confidence after your first losses in the qualifiers, and the Shock have set their standard of play quite high throughout the season. Of course, they only just found their first loss like a couple of weeks ago. It's worth remembering. Yeah, 17-2 is an impressive scoreline, but they were on an unbelievable, like, record-breaking win streak before the Summer Showdown. So when we come into a Shock game, you're always expecting the very best, and it's very odd to see them over the last weekend being a little bit lackluster in their play, whether that's the meta kind of not suiting them or just kind of warming up, as it were.
I think they're just warming up. I think the desk put it really well that Shock is the type of team that they always come back stronger and better. There's a lot to do with just the players' viewpoints of the game, but also the coaching staff of the Shock and how they really do instill confidence in their players. But, you know, we've got to see some different looks from them, and Houston seemed like they've really started to figure things out, at least from the first map. We still got another round of Kings Row to go, and oh boy.
Wow. That was very well read there by Sam. He was like hanging in the background. He saw the Tracer jumping in, Merrick gets hacked, so he couldn't hit that recall, and the rest of Shock looked at him, and he instantly died. Almost got a nice hack on Pelican there too. The San Francisco Shock are on the point, they are capping. Well, they're going to in just a moment as a Creative and his support Lastro do end up getting dove on. Little 1v1. Ooh, Creative ends up trading. That tick damage from the Ana left click does take him out, but the Shock still control the point, and the Outlaws, yeah, they're going to back up. They can't go again. You might as well get a better position for second.
Yeah, well, especially when you got the close spawn for Creative as well. He did respawn before the point was captured, so Houston can take a pretty aggressive positioning when it comes to the defense, just right by this bookstore corner. And so, you know, Pelican still looking for that EMP. Huge nade from Violet. That's what we expect out of an Ana player like that. That's why Violet already has a nano online. Proper could just get the blade on here, too.
Yeah, I saw when he talked about how Proper's playing against you right now. Yeah, Nano Blade. Nano Blade with the EMP, like, yeah, good luck surviving that one. Unless you get like an unreal Transcendence, like maybe, but very unlikely.
It's a lot.
It was pretty rough. A lot of ultimates online for the Outlaws, though. When do they want to go? Well, to answer that question, it's right now. The Nano onto Proper. He is 99% towards that blade, only 1% to go. He's not going to get that damage boost that he needs, really. He actually gets re-hacked as Dante gets ejected from the mech. Proper does fall, but the San Francisco Shocks return EMP. Looks like it should seal the deal, at least for this first corner.
Okay, I feel like Sam has woken up this map. You know, there's something about his awareness of positioning on King's Row that's making it very difficult for Houston. Look at all the corridors he's checking. He's using his translocator very liberally in order to spy check as much as possible. Maybe finding Pelican's translocator or hacking up the packs that Merit would love to have access to on this Tracer. And so Shock really have been able to utilize some of the best pieces of that Sombra kit to their advantage. Sam's going to get step back up into position here, really allow like Proper and Kaluj to have this health pack advantage, especially when you're looking at Proper with the Dragon Blade ready to go. You might need one of those.
Oh. Oh my god. Proper helps kill Pelican there, who was underneath him trying to hack him. Oh, self-destruct. Finn kills 2. And here's that Transcendence.
Oh.
Proper. Oh, that's just unfortunate. He looked like he was safe there in the little subway system. Wasn't quite to be. A Transcendence from Lastro to try and save the second point for the Outlaws, however. They got to wait for those spawns to come in. Sleep on Kaluj doesn't result in all too much, but it does help with the kill onto Violet. There was no defense matrix. A self-destruct on top of the point. You have to scanner for the Outlaws, yet Merit tried to contest it, but it wasn't to be. A classic D.Va bomb on top of the payload to almost C9 the enemy team there, but you can't really step up to it, otherwise you just get, well, you just explode.
Yeah, that's rough. I think that Kaluj used that really well too, just as a zoning ultimate. Nothing Outlaws can really do about that unless...
Look at his pace rose too.
Yeah. I was gonna say even like Lasher's Transcendence probably can't do anything against the bomb, but like, God, wow. Shock have so much time going into this, and all they need to do is you know, get the basketball into like the final stretch.
Ooh. A little nano blade. Did get stopped in his tracks for just a moment, but Proper just keeps on swinging. Of course, he's going to come out with those kills. He did get hacked initially, so he couldn't get those dash resets, but it doesn't matter. There's 4 kills for the Genji. Almost made it 5. Oh, make it 5. Take that any day of the week. San Francisco Shock with 3.5 minutes to go. Do almost clean wipe the Outlaws, but Outlaws do have an EMP, a nano, and a pulse coming back. Oh, no EMP anymore. Finn just hits a juicy right click on Pelican, erases that ultimate, and erases the Sombra. Houston Outlaws in desperation mode now. Have to get Dante on the back line to take down Finn. With Creative falling though, he's going to have a little bit harder time surviving now. Houston Outlaws still have the EMP coming back, but a giant anti once again from Violet is going to send Dante packing. However, with Pelican on the point, raring to go with its EMP, they might still be good. EMP comes out. Kaluj, is he going to get the remech in time? No, he does not. Gets taken down by Lastro. Houston Outlaws might just be able to hold on now, Rose.
Yeah, I mean, after throwing all of that at the fight, you would hope so, but Merit's getting a little low, needs to go for a pulse bomb here, but Shock are just coming back. Proper's, using the deflect.
Proper is not dying.
He's just still
1,000% accuracy right now from Violet. Nano in Finn. Finn goes to the back line, trying to finish the job himself. Hits the Ego Transcendence right on top of Dante, who was left sleeping there just a little bit. Just carnage at the moment. What is going on? These fights are lasting so long. Finn even dodges away out of self-destruct. Nothing killing this man. Sam's got another EMP. Unleashed. Pelican, or Merit even dead. Pelican can maybe touch, but nope. San Francisco Shock, after what was a 20-minute fight on last, end up tying the series.
Oh my god. Yeah, Proper just didn't die in those final moments. You know, could get another Dragon Blade online. Like, Sam got another EMP. Shock, like, cycled through everything there. That was scrappy. Wow.
Just absolute chaos. You'll have to see it. Yeah, Violet and Finn kind of going crazy. Yeah, Proper's in the kill feed, sure, but Violet, I guess would be the duo name. Violet, Finn and Violet kind of going ham too. Violet keeping Proper alive there for just an unbelievable amount of time was really nice to see if you're a Shock fan. And they are one apiece now. Okay, we've got a series on our hands, right? So we're going to Route 66 in a bit. We'll see you after this, on the other side of this. One of those endings. You get what I mean.
lightning doesn't strike twice, has never met the San Francisco Shock.
There's a depth of talent on their roster that can't be denied.
Some of the most hardcore carry performances that I've ever seen.
This is going to be a wild ride.
Somehow Vital's going to come to the rescue, get a double kill.
Kalu says, how about that one, Chief? See you later.
Dude, his aim is so crispy.
Man, doesn't miss those. Holy cow.
Sam straight the backline, insta-killing.
Oh, Mikey! San Francisco, the greatest team in Overwatch.
Shock wanting to continue that legacy forward. Now, are they the greatest team in Overwatch League history? Well, you know, 17-2 definitely paint that picture. They want a dub here ASAP, Rose, and someone that's been helping them do that is Sam. Sombra looked pretty damn good on King's Row.
Yeah, it did. I mean, 33 enemies hacked. I know that's looking at a total there. We're not actually looking at like hacks per 10, but I can't do the math right now, but it's a lot of hacks per 10 is what I'm trying to say. This was really, really influential. You know, we talked about it kind of during the broadcast itself where Sam was just using his knowledge of the map of King's Row to really put his team into a good position. But on top of that, too, just like the hack engages from Sam were really on point.
Yeah, there was one point on the very first push from the Shock on their offense where Sam just hung back just a little bit. Like, I know Merit or Pelican is going to be around here somewhere, just diving in. Hit Merit with a little hack. The rest of Shock looked at him, and he died because he was on the flank trying to get something done. And yeah, Sam's heads-up play there did really help them secure that first point. We are now going on to Route 66. No substitution, so I can imagine we're seeing Kaluge throughout this series. I guess at least until we go on to Control. Then maybe we'll see Mikey again, but Shock don't want to go there, obviously.
Yeah, what?
They don't want another map 5.
No, they don't want another map 5. No, not like that. But Route 66 is probably a pretty good map here for Kaluge, just given his proficiency on the D.Va that we just saw from King's Row. But on top of that, too, like if they want to go maybe more of a sniper route, have Sam play something like the Widowmaker or like, I don't know. You could even go for like a Sigma here as well, but they're going to be coming out of the gates with a D.Va. This is the same look that they used on King's Row.
As D.Va definitely look pretty good so far. I would say excellent, but I would like to see a couple of more remake kills, ideally.
Okay.
If you got any of those in you, that'd be great.
to cancel an EMPing Sombra?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think any D.Va play we've seen from the rest of the season that we'll see for the rest of the season will top Hawk getting the cans on the EMP. Yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
that is peak D.Va play.
It's never happening again. Yeah, I could even see like Pelican like getting scared of like a Kaluge's D.Va a little bit. Like, I can't let that happen to me too. Like when he had EMP up and everything. But okay, quick Hanzo Sonic Arrow from Merit to switch back over to the Tracer, and so it's just a complete mirror match for both of these teams and compositions. Just knowing that you do have the Sombra on the defense, I think it does make it a little bit harder for Outlaws to get into the position that they want to, because Sam, again, with the heads-up play, has probably hacked the health packs Houston would like to take advantage of for the attack. So they're going to have to be very patient. Oh, see, look at that! He just knows! He just knows. He knows.
He knew Pelican was skulking around. Looks like Pelican did translocate back to the Mega Health Pack on the other side of those doors, potentially. All right, there's another hack. Nice dive setup. Pelican instantly creating value with the help of Lastro's Orb and Merit following him up. While they're dead, Kaluge needs to come up with something large. San Francisco Shock not going down without a fight, though. I mean, ideally right now, you just kind of die on the payload. But against a Sombra in this kind of situation, it's pretty damn hard to come back from that 4v5 because the Sombra could just kind of chill and then go for those hacks over and over again on people trying to touch.
Exactly. And it does make it difficult when a lot of the heroes in this meta, too, are just so reliant on their mobility. Like, Merit can't do, or like the Tracers can't do anything if they're hacked. And It's kind of same for like when we see the Doomfist or the Wrecking Ball. You just have very limited ability to do anything. So yeah, you definitely have to be careful of that. You know, Sam already though is gonna have an EMP online. Lastro's not close enough to this Transcendence that I feel confident that Outlaws are gonna be able to get that online as a response. So if Sam can just keep this heads up play, this is a big shutdown opportunity for Shock to just stop them at the door.
Well, Proper's already got that pulse bomb. I think Dante has sniffed that out already. He was bathing in the defense matrix, trying to eat that one up. Makes a fair bit of damage, has to back off though. A lot of headshots there. Always the most satisfying sound in the world when you headshot people that consistently.
Does feel pretty good.
Ooh, what you got for us, Pelican?
Oh, he's looking for it.
Back onto Violet again. Oh, EMP still available too, but Lastro and Creative already dead. Kaluj on the other side of the map just takes care of the supportive backline of the Outlaws after that EMP comes out from Sam. Yeah. Pelican not as quick on the trigger.
I think you're okay with that though. You know, Outlaws, after hearing the EMP sound and knowing who got hit by that, I'm sure Lastro Creative might have called out that like, oh, there's no hope. Like, they died so fast after Sam's EMP that you're smarter to hold on to your ultimates here, because now Outlaws have an EMP of their own and everything else to back it up.
Oh, Proper. Dash behind Pelican there, so he had to go hit a 180 to try and get the hack off, but Proper a little bit quicker than he was. Alright, still holding on to that pulse bomb. They actually forced the Transcendence from the San Francisco Shock. A good spot to be in if you're the Outlaws right now. Pelican unleashes the EMP. It does hit Violet and Sam, but that self-destruct is going to isolate the rest of the Outlaws from following up off of that EMP. A perfect response from Kaluj. Even kills Dante as he was demec'd. The Houston Outlaws throw in so many ultimates in that fight and get nothing from it.
That's rough too. That was 4 ults. Lastro didn't use the Transcendence there, and that might have been like a big piece of sustainability Outlaws could have used to sustain through that fight. At least you can use it aggressively here now, but look at that.
Oh, wait, what?
Wait. How?
It didn't get eaten. We know that for sure, because Creative do be dead. I don't know.
Well, okay, sure.
UI bug. Sorry.
Whatever. Maybe ate some of the other damage. I have no idea. Anyway, that's a quick reset now that Outlaws have to go for. They're going to do a wraparound through the mines, and that is going to, you know, put Dante at the forefront of taking a nade from Violet, but oh my god, the Sombras. The Sombras.
Oh, a little 1v1, little honorable 1v1. Not quite as honorable. Both of them translocated back. Oh. Well, that was funny. The Shock aren't laughing. Violet and Finn are dead. Proper with low HP. Yeah, he has to back out. There's no way they end up winning here. Kaluj is down on payload. That'll be a reset.
It's a reset for the Shock, but it actually puts them in such a really good position where this payload has moved so far back and hasn't made enough progress that by the time that Outlaws were on this corner, Shock will have another chance to recontest, and they've got another Sam EMP. I would be nervous if I were the Outlaws. Merritt's going to have to try to get into a position maybe to get a pulse bomb first, but Sam might not give them the opportunity to do this. Pelican's looking for him, though. Do you see that? He's just, like, stealthed and trying to hunt down where Sam is.
Nice EMP. Oh, Transcendence not available, but that nano is. Houston Outlaws getting that nano onto Merritt so he doesn't instantly evaporate. Oh, missed the blink. Can you get it again? No. Kaluj is still looking at it. It's all good, but he has been pushing this payload the whole time. Merritt playing point guard right now. The pulse bomb flicked to the left, and Finn was on the right. Used that Transcendence too, even just to help Kaluj stay alive. Big EMP from Pelican very late on into this fight, so the San Francisco Shock didn't really have anything, no abilities really after or before that EMP to sustain themselves through that. 2 minutes to go for the Outlaws now as they unlock those doors, looking to push to third.
Oh, look at that too. Oh, the
what a
sleep.
Oh, can you finish that? I don't think they can, right? No, Matrix.
No.
Nice. Violet was a little bit too quick there to the truck. That was unlucky.
Oh, Dante's got to be so careful. Yeah, I like how Dante goes to like try to save Pelican and then like gets almost demec'd in the process.
Another good sleep, this time from
right?
Creative.
Oh, yeah.
Nano Proper, very scary. Not so much if he's catching a few Zs. All right, Creative now in a little bit of trouble. Man, this tag team of Kaluj and Proper do so much work or even Collusion Sam, to be fair, their dive is
exceptional. So good. It looks just so good. You know, Sam's getting a hack. Proper's going in to get the cleanup. The defense matrix from Collusion is just keeping Sam and Proper safe. And Collusion, too, you know, historically an off-tank player, knows how to do peel, too, for Finn and Violet. So it's a lot that Collusion is juggling really well on the D.Va.
Yeah, so much to think about now as well, because you're obviously the solo tank, right? Especially as D.Va, you need to save your matrix. You have to use it quite sparingly. Proper's fine there. Did get hacked, but it's all good. Good amount of stall time for the San Francisco Shock. But with no real ult, I mean, they're just building up towards the CMP. That's what they want to use to end one of these other fights and force Outlaws into an overtime situation.
Yeah, I mean...
The Outlaws looking to do the same thing.
Lastro's been holding on to this Transcendence forever, knowing that Sam is probably close to that EMP.
Oh, what a nade.
Oh, but he uses it now!
Wow. Yeah, Lastro's 1 HP, so actually popped the Transcendence. Feared for his life just a little bit there. So now Sam might be free to EMP. He does. He hits Lastro and Creative, but another nano boost, this time on Dante. So the Shock are looking towards him to try and stop him from just cleaning the backline. A self-destruct coming out. He does get cleaned up in the end. And that nano boost actually saves Collusion's mech from that self-destruct. Violet with another clutch nano boost. 15 seconds to go for the Outlaws. Respawns are coming in as Merit is on the payload. Touch it.
Oh, Merit's gonna just try to keep that overtime active, that cart pushing, but he's gonna have to triple blink over, or Dante gets there.
Yep. No, he got there, but he is dead. No Tracer, maybe no win here for the Outlaws. I mean, you got Dante and Pelican just perma-juggling. It's kind of nice. Dante's on a little angle here, so he can touch and then dip back into cover. Proper goes for some sort of heroics in the left-hand side of the map there, but Pelican and Creative were lying in wait, so this overtime will continue for the Outlaws. Dante has seen his target dive straight towards Finn and helps Pelican clean up that kill. The Outlaws aren't out of this just yet. The Shock health bars are dwindling quite quickly, as overtime will disappear in a blink of an eye if Outlaws do get off the point now. Dante playing the chunky Tracer is diving in, but the kills are really coming through for the Outlaws now. The Shock need to find something. The EMP's going to force them to get back onto that payload, but they can't do it in time. The Houston Outlaws, on what was a dangerous situation to be in there, managed to complete in OT.
That was so clinical, too, how they were juggling the payload to keep activating overtime. You know, Dante, that you called out the great angle that he had. He was able to play behind that shelf of crates, so you still had access to cover, but you also had access to the sight lines from your supports that were sitting in the health pack room. But then you also saw that, like, Pelican understood that his duty was to basically swap in and out with Dante to reactivate that overtime. And by the time that the rest of the team was regrouped, they were able to go in with the ults that they had banked up. So just really well done there from the Outlaws. Shock now, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of doubts that Shock can complete this map also, just given the pace that they were able to set on Kings Row and how well they were able to navigate the dive. It does work a little bit better on the attack, and Shock are hopefully going to show us that. I think we might go to extra rounds here.
Oh, assuming this was the kill onto Proper.
Oh, the sleep dart.
That's, I mean, that is nasty. And then a hack too. Yeah, you're not surviving that. Woo. Been a lot of nice sleeps. Creative and Violet doing it exceptional in Route 66 so far.
For sure. I mean, Violet's just had some really nice long-range nades as well, just to be able to, I don't know, deal with Dante's mech. A couple other squishy targets as well. It's going to be a similar story here. Somehow Lastro gets slept. Oh, that was funny.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately you can't follow that up there. Damn. Finn wasn't in position to hit that right click. I think he might have been behind that sign.
Nah, I think so.
In fact, Violet gets hacked and anti this time. Nades his feet, receives Norb from Finn. He will be fine. All good, all patched up.
Oh, look at that too. Just fed so much charge over to Creative as well. What is happening?
What happened there? How did Proper... he didn't have pulse bomb, so not sure. Maybe he fell off the map. That'd be, I don't know. I'm sure we'll get a replay or something. That was weird. Okay, the San Francisco Shock lose their Tracer, but they end up trading anyway, so all good. Big position here for the Shock. They can use that health pack if it's not hacked already. But Violet has only got that support passive to heal him up, which might be a little bit of a problem for the Shock now, especially as Merit has that pulse bomb.
That needs to weave it through Kalush's defense matrix, though.
Violet's been spotted, but Creative and Lastro dead once again. There's that tag team, Kalush and Proper, dispatching at the back line. All right, there's point A, just like that. Well, bada bing, bada boom.
Didn't need any ultimates there either from anybody. So the second point's going to be interesting.
Is
Okay,
it a proper? Okay, what happened?
Oh, he blinked backwards.
He double blinked off the map. You see Pelican, he threw the Translocator, I think, or maybe that was Creative throwing a nade. Someone threw something. I think it was Creative throwing the nade, in fact. He just double blinks off the map. We see some ridiculous stuff today.
Listen, everybody gets a pass. Even Proper gets, gets a pass.
Sure. No pass. No, can't be Rookie of the Year anymore. No, not after that. No way. All right, what you got for us, Pelican? Nice icon to Proper. Look how split Shock are playing right now. Oh, EMP's pretty big. Lastro and Creative get hacked. Can't keep Lastro alive. 3-man EMP this time from Pelican. They're all carrying in this room. Somehow Merit manages to weave that pulse bomb through that defense matrix and Kalush. Wow, that took some doing. They do clean up.
Wow, Merit was so low too. I mean, that's just the precision that you expect from a Tracer player like him. Especially when you know that like there's timing involved, and so as soon as you see the defense matrix expire, go in, weave your pulse bomb. This does stop San Francisco for a little bit. They just expended the EMP on both sides. Proper has the pulse bomb now too. Oh, Kalush got demeched already?
Yeah, decides to just hit the salvage truck to get the remake. Dante's also pretty low. Health pack is not hacked, so I guess ideally the Shock want to take over the little gas station there. Merit gets right-clicked by Finn by the looks of it. It's a bit of a struggle for the San Francisco Shock thus far. Outlaws have had a pretty decent defense, but with Dante getting remeked, he didn't end up trading his life for a Transcendence on the side of the Shock, but these fights are taking a long time to end, Rose.
Yeah, there's no real reset here. And oh my gosh, Proper just gonna keep going.
There you go. Okay, reset time.
Yeah, full reset.
All
here.
good.
Sad though, Proper's not letting up any of that type of pressure. Should go sit at the door. He's already 30% towards another pulse bomb. Both of the EMPs are going to be online again. Wow, both players have been cycling through those so fast. But Outlaws once again have 6 ults to contend with. Shock's 1, maybe 2 with Violet gets the Nano online as well. So hopefully Outlaws don't just throw everything at this. They should be able to shut it down with just the EMP.
Well, I mean, there's 3 minutes to go. Counter EMP, it's good. Damage is nice. A nice little 1 clip with 2 kills there. Not quite. Does take care of Finn. Outlaws almost looked unlosable there with the 5 ults.
Yeah.
Merit still holds on to that pulse, which is quite important. And the Adamantium backline and mental there from the Houston Outlaws not using their Transcendence when Sam unleashed his own EMP.
I think they knew that Finn didn't have the Transcendence online for their own EMP, and so you may as well just go ahead and use that resource for now. Yep.
Ooh. Yikes. Yeah, that was from range too, so that wasn't even like you were getting dove. That was just at range. The forcing of the Transcendence. All right, equal playing field now for the Zenyatas. Oh, Dante ends up getting demeched, and there's the Nano on to Kalush. Nano Diva is still pretty damn scary. The micro missiles do a fair amount of damage, and obviously the Diva shifting into you is pretty hard to deal with at the best of times. Merit and Pelican end up going down. Outlaws don't have a front line to deal with or a back line. There's the San Francisco Shock. Do get that payload in. Pretty similar time back though, going into third.
Yeah, that was a tough defense there that Outlaws were able to put up for point B. If Lastro hadn't been pressured to use the Transcendence so early, then maybe you would have been able to use that Transcendence for stall, but you weren't really saving it for anything else. Like, you're already off kilter from having held on to it from Sam's last EMP, that you're not going to want to save it for so much longer. But Sam is still, like, pretty close to another one. Like, that's like maybe 2 clips away. I don't know. I'd be worried if I were the Outlaws here, for how far that card has progressed as well.
Yeah, we already highlighted Sam Sombra, right? His charge rate's pretty insane.
Pretty nutty.
Lastro's a bit off kilter too with the Transcendence versus the EMP.
Yeah, he already was. Finn was too, though. Finn's been forced to use the Transcendence earlier than Pelican's EMP, so it kind of makes sense. Like, you don't necessarily need it as an answer. But wow.
Dante right click from downtown. Another nice lead from Creative. Oh, and a nano boost onto Pelican to help secure the kill. Oh, you're not going anywhere, Kalush. Come back here. An EMP to force the mech and the remech. So no self-destruct for Kalush now to create some space.
Well, this is good, too. I mean, using that EMP so early, we've seen tons of teams do this. They forced out the Transcendence already.
Wow, 60 seconds to go. Another unbelievably scrappy fight from both the Outlaws and the Shock as Kalush falls. Nano boost onto Grobler. Can he turn this fight around? Doesn't look like it. Lastro comes up with another nice couple of shots. Those orbs. So deadly from that range. And the Outlaws have still got the Transcendence, Rose. So they're pretty happy about this.
Yeah, well, they just earned it. You know, the nano from Creative, it was able to keep the Outlaws alive. That early EMP gave Lastro enough time to get it online, and that's huge because Sam hasn't used the EMP yet. So now Outlaws have an answer, and all of a sudden, they could win this map.
Okay, no memp. No memp. You gotta get it. Oh, Lastro! Woo! 180, Sam. Thank you very much. They do end up trading, but look at this already. Merit is just cleaning up, like actually ridiculous stuff from Merit. Takes down both supports. San Francisco Shock are just going to get held here. Just no hope in hell of getting back. Kalush is dead. Overtime's in progress. Does San Francisco Shock have Sam to touch? Maybe? No, not at all. Lastro didn't even use that Transcendence.
He didn't need it.
He's got a big smile on his face, and I would be too. I'd be pretty damn happy with that. They hold the San Francisco Shock on that third point. Houston Outlaws now. Match point in the series against one of the scariest teams in the West.
The foresight that Lastro had to have, that was ridiculous. Get this man a raise or something. Like, I don't know. Hope it pays off. Yeah, oh, on match point now. That's bonkers.
In the words of Violet, I respect him so much. We're going to jump to a break. Houston Outlaws on match point against the Shock. We'll see you after this. Can Shock bounce back? They're going to need to. They've lost 2 games in a row. It's crazy. Are they going to lose a third? Well, we'll have to find out after this. The time has come to see your heroes rise at Grand Finals. Yeah, that's right. Pre-sale tickets are on sale now for the show. Get early access and a pre-sale discount by subscribing to the Overwatch League newsletter. It's going to be a good time. It's live at Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California, funnily enough. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. We're going to be there, so yeah, make sure you come along and pick up your tickets now. Right, the Houston Outlaws, well, they're 2 maps up. The Shock, a singular. Are they going to lose a back-to-back? It's kind of crazy to think about, but the Outlaws are playing exceptionally well. But the San Francisco Shock, they do have a deep talent pool. They have a deep roster. They are subbing in one of those in Kilo for this next map. It's New Queen Street for our push.
I think that makes a lot of sense, knowing that Kilo and Proper both, you know, like to play some long-range stuff. I think specifically for Kilo, I don't know if we're going to see the Sombra come out from the Shock, but maybe instead seeing something like the Sojourn or the Ashe that has been so good for a lot of teams previous on this map. You know, Philadelphia Fusion, one of those teams that really likes to utilize those sight lines. London Spitfire, Sparker, just always doing a good job. So I'm thinking maybe no Sombra. Maybe no Sombra.
Yeah. Not a hit scan maybe for Kilo. A little bit Ashe, maybe. A little bit. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of a Soldier, weirdly enough. That was a blast from the past.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's
Remember the
true.
Nano Visor at the very beginning of the season?
Yeah, it's true. You know, I will say, too, that when Kilo comes into the roster for Shock next to Proper, it actually does open up some possibilities for Proper as well to play something a little bit different, so he's not stuck on just playing the Tracer. Kilo could potentially play the Tracer, and that opens up Proper to play the Genji, for example. Just some thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, well, Proper's a Hyperflex, too, right? So it is crazy seeing how many heroes he can play. We've got a lot of Hyperflexes in the league at this point. I feel like at this point in time in Overwatch as a whole, a lot of players are able to play like so many things, and it's not strictly like projectile and hit scan. There are people that do one exceptionally well over the other, but those lines are slowly becoming more blurred as the years go on.
It's like with supports too, we used to have like flex support and main support. You can still sort of divvy up those heroes into either of those categories, but we have players that are proficient in basically all the support heroes too. So I feel like you have hyperflexes over there as well.
Yeah, I mean, Violet's a good case study
Yes.
for that, right? Zuzo didn't look super strong when he first started it, but he's definitely got better as time goes on. All right, let's have a look. There you go. There's the Ashe. Called it perfectly.
Yeah, no Sombra.
Thank you. No Sombra. So Proper on the Tracer, Kilo on the Ashe versus Merit's Tracer and Pelican Sombra.
Yeah, and this does open up Proper to be able to flex over to the Genji if he wants to. You could play a little bit more dive-centric around Kaluja's Diva, but it does beg the question of how is this going to play against the fact that Pelican is sticking to the Sombra. That's a tough one. If Kaluj gets hacked, you know, that's all of a sudden something that Shock doesn't have access to either on their side.
Let's get going.
Great, but look, he was looking to set up a nade there by the looks of it, because Pelican was holding off to the side. Oh, yeah, you need that health back. Oh, yeah, it's hacked too, so that respawns super fast. So he can play that corner quite well, quite effectively on his own.
It's really helpful. It does add an extra layer of support that you could pull upon to keep everybody alive.
Crave got to be careful though. Nice dynamite. Crave is super low, no nade. Yeah, easy kill for Proper. And Astro already went down to creative on the side there. Really nice aggressive positioning from the Shock. I like the way Proper played that actually. He was on top of the little bus and he can just blink onto the high ground and then look over the other team. And then he was also in a position, Rose, where the bot really couldn't move because he was causing it to be contested.
Yeah.
That was a really nice positioning from the young Tracer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, already has a Pulse Bomb as a reward. Can get set up as well, knowing that Houston Outlaws are just starting to make their way back to contest. They do get to take this defensive corner, though, but you can already see that, like, both Merit and Proper right now, I should be on them trying to figure out how they're going to weave these Pulse Bombs in.
Merit desperately. Please, just shoot Kaluj. I need a DMX so I can pulse. Look how far. Okay. Yeah, Kilo just kind of shooting around, just seeing if Pelican's around there. Looks a little BM, but it's not, I promise. Maybe it is, I don't know. Not in his head. Oh, Merit's in his head, though. Nice kill. Him and Pelican assisting in that one, so I can imagine it was a hack. All right, Proper in the background. Do Houston Outlaws know? Oh, they definitely do now. Pelican even has that health back to run back to, but Proper double, almost triple blinks to get back to safety. Nano boost on Lastro. Oh, he's out for blood. And a nade to follow up too. Creative has been just a superstar on this Ana so far this series. That was a good nano, followed up with a good nade. And they take control of the bot just because of that.
Yeah, that's huge as well. I mean, Creative has been super flexible with the targets of that nano too. Not just relying on using that nano to buff up extra damage, but to save people. And I feel like that's not something we see very often from how Anas have been incorporated into team compositions in the past. That's gonna allow Lastro now to hold on to the Transcendence. You've got Dante with the remech capability coming back up. That's what that is now, right? It's not Diva Bomb. It's just remech.
Just hunting for remech kills.
Yeah.
Just like Matt. And then proceeds to throw the game. What a surprise. Who is really surprised at that? Absolutely nobody. Well, there's self-destruct from Dante. Remech kills? No, not today. Unfortunate. Shock have the Bob online. Can be hacked too by Pelican, but again, doesn't last like super long, so it's still a little bit deadly. And so is Proper and Kilo from that kind of range. I mean, the idea for the Shock right now is just to set them up. Oh, nice coach gun. I'll interrupt myself, shall I? There's a Bob. Kilo is so low, though. It was a good pulse bomb from Merit. Forced the lamp out of Finn. He was so low after that lamp went down. He was cleaned up, but Violet on the Brig is just able to kind of swing away. The AoE healing from the Inspire is still kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's really good, and this is a composition right now that is super survivable. Finn has a lot of burst healing available, but also the immortality field, and then Violet gets to go brawl in Dante's face. And I would be nervous. Dante's been playing a very aggressive game, and so Violet can just get up close and personal.
Oh, no. Nice try, nice try. Oh! That was unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, this kind of comp, Rose, the one that Shock are running, it's like, okay, we just want to protect Kilo right now.
Yeah.
Like, we can throw packs at him, we can boot people away with the flail, even just the shield bash. Finn can protect him, provide him the matrix. Like, a lot of this is centering around Kilo and what he can get done. And then Proper's kind of this solo agent that can just receive packs.
Kilo's the president, and Proper is the Secret Service.
Yeah. Exactly. We just need the Bastion now from Kilo.
I know.
To truly protect the president. All right, EMP coming up. Pelican looking to set it up. Oh, 4-man. Everybody from the Shock grouped up in that corner. Almost too easy for him.
Huge. You will be able to get the bot back as soon as Kaluj goes down. Wait, there's somebody else still alive? Oh, surely you don't get away from that.
Dante with a little pirouette there, trying to find where Proper was going.
Just dancing on the pack to make sure that he didn't steal it. All right, kind of need to keep locking down those health packs too.
Swift engage from the Shock, using that rally. They're in a decent position. They've actually swapped sides, and yeah, that's resulted in Kilo's death already. Self-destruct launched up by Dante. Where is it going to land? Is it going to get Kalush out of mech? Doesn't look like it, but that window from Finn might be all that they really need to help, well, just buy enough time for Kilo to get back into the fight. I mean, Finn's pretty deadly at the best of times, but behind a window, I'd be scared if I were the Outlaws. Look like they managed to sustain through it, though, and a good sleep from Creative as he comes up big, once again, killing or helping to kill Proper. However, the spawns are coming in. It's Kilo versus Creative. Oh, it's a 3-tap if you're the Ana, a 2-tap at this point. Can he get him? 1, 2, Creative's got it. Oh, another sleep! Another sleep from the Ana. Pity, though, he wasn't healing the rest of his team. They do end up falling down, so it was all for naught in the end. It just looked fancy.
Look, Kilo did what he needed to do, which was to keep Creative busy. I feel for him. Ana's head hitbox is so small.
Oh, yeah, when she strafes left to right, it's not the smallest, I don't think, but it might be close. It's just size. The strafing animation of Ana's like hitbox. It goes very weird. So
that's a good warm up though. Just a lobby of you and then a bunch of Anas.
Bunch of Ana players. Yeah. Oh, EMP. It lands. Landed well. Yeah, Violet instantly blown up. You can't even use the shield there either if you're Violet, so yeah, you are extremely vulnerable in that position. With 3 minutes to go, the bot hasn't really moved on either side, like 40 meters to 32. That's like such a small meter bank there, meterage bank, however you want to call it.
But look at that too. Bob actually bought some time also. Before he expired, he was still contesting the payload. That's so funny. Shock now, they do get to come back, but yeah, like no first checkpoint yet. EMPs have been necessary for Outlaws to take back any sort of control.
Well, they do have double support ultimate. Propper's looking to end one of those supports rather quickly with that pole spot. No health pack there, unfortunately. Pelican already hacked it, I'm afraid. It's actually forced his recall. A window's been utilized by Finn, but Dante's just standing straight up to him. Like, Dante has just been, it's literally Big Tracer Dante is playing right now, as he's just running down the San Francisco Shock. What a look from the Outlaws currently. With 2 minutes to go, they're going to grab the lead, Rose. And maybe even the checkpoint. Dante has the self-destruct. Pelican's been pretty quick on charging these EMPs. What have the Shock really got to do here? They've actually switched their support line. They're going for the Zen and the Brig now.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look at that. This is actually really incredible, too, because originally it was Violet on the Zenyatta, and then he switched over to the Brig, and now, like, Finn's on it. Rally, though, Outlaws already got the checkpoint.
They've got the checkpoint, and they force Rally from Violet to find a semblance of something in this fight. Oh, look at Violet just perma-holding shield right now. He's got to protect himself from that damage. Grab kills him with a nade. It is a 2v3 on this point, and with Proper alive, doesn't like Merit's going to be able to do much else, apart from stall the bot for a little bit longer. Yeah, just wants to die here. It's all good. Spy time. There's a minute to go, Rose, and there's 17 meters that separate both teams. Outlaws might be able to just run home with this one.
I think they can. Look, Pelican is getting ready with the EMP. Merit on Tracer, he will have to respawn, but he'll be able to blink forward so fast, and this is where Houston Outlaws, they want to shut it down. Finn just switched over to the Zenyatta. You don't have that Transcendence up yet, and Pelican is right there. Blink and you might miss it.
Sight. Yeah, both supports. He's calling for the engage, but the whole team is just a little bit too far away by the looks of it. They need to recontest that bot. And now they're in this little walkway. You can see Dante, easy EMP, a kickback onto Pelican, but Dante was nano, so both supports just melted like ice cream on a hot summer's day. 57 meters for the Outlaws as they do win this fight. And with 15 seconds to go, the San Francisco Shock might just go down. 3 match losses in a row. A very uncharacteristic look for one of the best teams in North America. 5 seconds now and counting. The San Francisco Shock are getting harassed by Dante in the spawn, and they're not going to be able to touch the bot. The Outlaws have done it. A 3-1 over the Shock. A very, very strange loss at the very beginning of the Countdown Cup qualifiers, but they come back and smash expectations, taking down the Shock in what was a fairly easy game to start out with. A 2-0 on control and a systematic dismantling of the Shock on New Queen Street.
That was just really well done by Houston. I think it speaks volumes that, hey, Boston Uprising were just a tough opponent. What do you think, Jaws? I don't know. This was the test of strength we wanted to see from Houston, and they surpassed, I think, a lot of people's expectations today.
Yeah, what a large, sizable W from the Houston Outlaws there. Wow. I mean, the Shock, they're now on 3 losses in a row.
Which is, like, crazy to think about.
Which is crazy. Yeah, we're mentioning it before, but the standards for the Shock are set so high, and they set those for themselves, right, because of how long they went undefeated. It is insane to think that they've now, they went to a map fight with the Justice and went down, and now they got taken down in 4 by the Houston Outlaws. But on the flip side of it, what a glow up for the Houston Outlaws, though. But just unbelievable. I think a lot of people are still very high on the San Francisco Shock stock market, but Houston Outlaws here, they take another dub, or take a single dub, because they lost to Boston Uprising in the first week. But we're getting into a point now where, do we see the Shock maybe slip down in the rankings a little bit? Like, it's very possible at this point.
I mean, maybe they do. They are locked in for playoffs already, so it's not like they're missing out too much here with a loss. Houston, on the other hand, though, they were sitting in the 4th seed, and they needed a win. They can keep needing those wins to keep their spot in those top 6 spots for playoffs. But there was one man leading the charge that does deserve our player of the match today. And Jaws, this was a tough choice, I feel like, to pick a particular player, because I think you could have given it to the supports as well, but I think we need to give it to Dante for just the work that he put in for this match. There was no Doomfist at all today. We started things off on Orisa, and then it was D.Va all the way through, and it looked good.
Yeah, Dante's D.Va looks exceptional. Like, obviously at this point, it's like Dante's only going to play tank for the Outlaws. Like, there were questions earlier on in the season, like, okay, we've seen him on Doom. That's really, obviously, we expect that. Okay, Junker Queen kind of fits that hero pool too, and how Junker Queen plays and how aggressive you can kind of go. But now he's on the D.Va, and he looks, like, unbelievable. A masterclass in like how to play D.Va like hyper aggressively, like the big Tracer, as D.Va's kind of always been called, just fat Tracer or big Tracer, right? It's insane what he can kind of get done, and there's a lot of support in his backline. Definitely needs to shout out to, like you were saying, Rose, creative sleep darts, but their ability to kind of sync up the nano boost onto Dante and then hitting the EMPs. Yeah, the Outlaws look good right now.
You know, this meta is a lot about individual prowess and how flexible you can be as an individual player, but it's also about how do you work with your team. You know, Dante was setting him up for the rest of the team to knock him down, and it would be a different story if he was aggressive and then didn't get the follow-up. We would be probably not sitting in a position where Houston was getting the win today.
Well, with that said, I think we've got an interview with Merit on the other side of this break. You're not going to want to miss that. We'll see what kind of smack he can talk after the break. We'll see you in a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to Game Break, everybody. I'm here joined by Merit from Houston Outlaws, coming out from a great victory against the San Francisco Shock. 3-1 victory. And of course, I mean, congratulations on the win. And also, I mean, this is, I think, a huge win for the Houston Outlaws because San Francisco Shock, they're right now ranked 1 in our rankings right now. So how did you guys get this done? 자, 오늘의 승리를 좀 축하드리면서 오늘 승리가 좀 더 많은 좀 의미가 있는 것 같아요. 일단 센쇼기 강적이기도 했고 또 제가 봤을 때는 많은 사람들이 휴스턴이 승리를 할 거라고 예상을 안 했을 거라고 좀 생각을 하기 때문에 오늘 센쇼과의 경기 좀 어떻게 해서 승리를 거두시게 되셨나요?
일단 저희가 점점 대회를 할수록 콜이나 합적인 부분이 점점 더 맞아가는 것 같아서 그런 것 때문에 더 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
All right. As we play more games, you know, Overwatch League games, I think the biggest plus for us, or biggest thing that's going on for us, is our call-outs and also our teamwork inside games. When we make plays, our teamwork in general just sort of leveled up as we progressed throughout the season and as we played with each one another throughout these games. So I think that is one of the biggest things that got us the win against San Francisco Shock. I do agree, but I think another thing is I think Houston Outlaws, you guys, all of your individual team players look phenomenal. Dante on that tank is looking good. Pelican on that Sombra is looking good too. But for you as well, it's a little bit more interesting because we're seeing you play the Tracer as, who used to be a more hit scan focused player. Now you're on that Tracer role. So, how did that decision happen? And also, how do you feel about playing Tracer right now for this current stage? 자, 방금 얘기하셨다시피 이렇게 콜아웃이나 이런 팀워크 부분도 저도 동의를 하고요. 그것뿐만이 아니라 일단 이제 메리트 선수 같은 경우에는 원래는 히트 스캔 유저로서 이렇게 팀에서 히트 스캔 영웅도 좀 다루시다가 이번에 좀 특이하게 트레이서를 이번에 좀 이제 사용하게 되셨는데 좀 이런 결정이 어떻게 이루어졌고 또 지금 트레이서를 하는 거에 대해서 좀 어떠신가요?
일단 제가 트레이서가 제 주 캐릭이 아닌데 그래도 몇 번 스크램에서 하다 보니까 좀 괜찮게 돼가지고 이렇게 하고 있는 것 같습니다.
All right, so I do have to say, Tracer isn't sort of my main hero, something that I play a lot. But in scrims, when we had the scrims, I picked it up, and it seemed pretty good. So I think that is why I am using the Tracer. Talking about Tracer, I just quickly before I send you off, I have to ask you a quick question. Dante is a very good Tracer player as well. So just out of curiosity, did Dante give you any tips and tricks on how to sort of play Tracer when you were on that role? 자, 이제 보내드리기 전에 이걸 좀 여쭤보고 싶어서 아무래도 단테 선수가 원래 트레이서를 굉장히 잘하는 선수로서 지금은 이제 그거를 많이 못 보고 있잖아요. 혹시 이렇게 메리트 선수가 트레이서를 하는 거에 대해서 이제 좀